Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Eaton, and today I am proud to give you all a presentation of the all-new redesigned 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe. The Santa Fe, of course, was introduced originally back in 2001 as a affordable SUV for the Hyundai brand, and since then it has grown to become one of the best-selling SUVs in their lineup. For 2024, as you can see, it does give a new look, which in my opinion does remind me of the Land Rover Defender, which of course is a much more expensive model. But as you can see, this being the calligraphy trim, we are going to be getting a couple of cool features, such as a very unique grille right there. We're going to get 21-inch wheels right there. You're going to get the roof rack up there, which is pretty nice, and of course some cool things on the inside as well. But with that being said, a huge thank you to Huffines Hyundai here in McKinney, Texas, which is a part of Huffines Auto Dealerships, for giving me some time with this one today. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's check it out. One cool thing about the key fob, as you can see, is that when you flip it sideways, it does give you the Hyundai logo. And on top of that, you're going to have some buttons here, such as your lock, unlock, remote start, as well as your panic button. And then on the side is going to be your trunk release, as well as your controls for the Smart Park feature. So with that said, to remote start the vehicle, just make sure the vehicle is locked. And then push down to hold the remote start button. And as you can hear, the vehicle is currently running. And after waiting a few seconds, just push down and hold again, and the vehicle will shut right off. Starting off here in the front, as you can see, you do have a very unique geometric grille, which looks really nice, and especially since this is the calligraphy trim, it's blacked out. And of course, you do have that blacked out Hyundai badge right there. And of course, you do have your front-facing camera right there as a safety feature, which is pretty cool. And then when you step out, as you can see, it does have a little H right here, which is pretty cool. So, with that said, it does look pretty unique and nice in my opinion. But let's go ahead and check out the rest of the exterior and interior. As you can see, the calligraphy does give you a unique set of 21-inch wheels on Pirelli Scorpion MS tires. These measure 245 45R 21s all the way around. Coming up to the door handle, as you can see, this vehicle does have Hyundai Smart Key Access System. To lock the vehicle, just simply tap this button here. The vehicle will lock and the mirrors will fold back in. And to unlock the vehicle, just put your hand right here. There's a touch sensor and the vehicle will unlock and the mirrors will track back out. The exterior color of this one is called Serenity White Pearl, with the light beige leather interior, with wood grain accenting on the door panel. Speaking of the door panel, as you can see, you do have an aluminum finished door handle here, which is pretty nice. As you can see, you do have two-person memory seating. You also do have your controls for your power windows, your child lock. You do have your lock and unlock functions right there, your controls for the power mirrors, and of course the adjustments for those power mirrors as well. The wood grain trim here looks nice, but it is also faux, so it does look real, but as you can see, it is more of a faux or fake wood. But overall, it does look really nice. As long as you have the key fob on you or in the vehicle to start it up, just simply put your foot on the brake and hit the button to go. Very nice. Starting off here, you do have a fully leather wrapped rack and pinion power wheel, which feels really nice in your hands. You also have a little sensor that keeps you in check whether you're paying attention on the road, which is pretty nice. To your left, you're going to have some controls, as well as to the right. To the left is going to house some controls for your menu, as well as some safety features, as well as a little area here, a little switch for your audio. which is nice. And then to the right, you're going to have your hands-free telephone and Bluetooth connectivity buttons, favorites button, a mode button, as well as your audio switches here to raise or lower the volume. And then of course this is going to be for this screen up here. Now, as you can see, we have two 12.3-inch displays, one for the digital gauge cluster, one for the infotainment system. So we're going to start things off here with the digital instrument cluster. First and foremost, you might see this little button here on the side, and that's going to be for your digital fingerprint sensor. What that does is if you have a particular setting saved, like let's say you adjust your steering wheel, let's say you adjust the seating and all that stuff, you can, yes, use these right here to control the placement of the seats. But let's say everything else you have set up in here, you want it to that particular setting, you'll just make sure you put your finger right there, and it will keep that preset for you, so that way every time you get in the vehicle, it will be ready and you'll be able to get on with your day. Now, starting off here, as you can see, you do have a speedometer on your left, your tachometer on your right, and of course your trip computer and all that information right there in the center. As you can see, we're looking at the speed limit reading on the left, your safety feature on the right, some information about your since the last reset, your trip information, timer, as well as your average fuel economy. Coming down below is going to be your auto stop start system, which as you can see is activated, exterior temperature, as well as your gear selector. Of course, with that being said, as you can see, we're going to be using this right here, this button here, to go through this screen. So you're going to have your compass, a picture of the vehicle, hit OK for settings, hold OK for settings, and then we come over here. That's where it's going to give you all that information regarding your vehicles, such as driver assistance, which as you can see gives you kind of a unique illustration of how all that works, such as driving convenience, driving safety, driver attention warning, parking safety, as well as a speed limit reader. I'm going to come down here to drive mode. See, that will allow me to do that here. There we go. My drive mode sets a personalized custom drive mode based on user selections. Of course, you can enable your drive mode change alert, which shows details of the drive mode change and a vehicle image highlighting the area involved. Climate, of course, allows you to configure your climate in different ways. You can recirculate air, which blocks the flow of outside air into the vehicle cabin. Automatic ventilation automatically switches the ventilation system to the fresh air mode after an extended use of recirculated air. Defog/defrost options sets the function used to reduce moisture on the windshield glass, as well as climate features, which sets the climate control convenience functions. And then you have other things such as your seats, lights, the door, and come with the vehicle when you take delivery, as well as convenience. So convenience features, you're going to get a rear occupant alert, which allows you basically saying, hey, you might need to check the back seats for something. Service interval displays an alert when a specific service interval is reached. Oil change reminder, it's going to give you information about that. Wireless charging system for mobile devices. Mobile phone wireless charging indicator. Pretty cool to see. So what we just basically went through was what we saw with this, but on the right side here of the screen. So that's pretty cool to see. Now, with that said, as you come over here, we are looking now at the infotainment system. What we just went through was basically what we would typically see on the instrument cluster. But as you can see, it's a very nice setup here. It looks very, very good. You have kind of a split screen of 3 different categories, such as your navigation, Sirius XM, as well as phone. But of course, you can go on down to phone projection, voice memos, seats, weather, valet mode, and setup, as well as Hyundai Pay, vehicle diagnostics, maintenance, HD radio data, notifications, as well as online manual. Pretty comprehensive for what it is, and of course, it does look pretty cool too. So let's go to just the navigation so you can have a look at that. As you can see, the nav system in here is really, really solid. I really love the look of it. I like the graphics. I like the pinch to zoom feature and everything. It does look really good. And overall, just the quality of the infotainment screen looks very nice. Of course, you can search a destination down here, as well as your shortcut buttons to your left. So that's pretty cool to see. And then right over here is where you would typically see what's playing on your audio. You have Sirius XM, obviously, but because, of course, I'm recording, I'm not going to be able to play any music. Phone, of course, you have to connect your phone. Phone projection, that's going to allow you to get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Voice memos, going to allow you to record your voice. Seat settings, you're going to be able to adjust your seats in the second row. So heated seats in the back. Seat controls, so you can have seat back recline or cushion tilt, and it will adjust that for you. And then, of course, your second row seats fold and unfold. You can do that from inside of the vehicle rather than doing it from the cargo area itself. But still, it does its job well. Come to weather, of course, you need to have a BlueLink subscription in order to do that. Valet mode, that obviously means that the parts of the vehicle would be locked for a valet not to get into, which in this case would be the glove box and stuff like that. Setup, of course, as you can see, you have many different menus here, such as vehicle setup, navigation, sound, device connections, user profile, voice recognition, screen layout, display, buttons, cluster / heads up display, data / network in general. Hyundai Pay, that's going to allow you to pay on any items, I would assume in this case. Vehicle diagnostics, of course, is going to give you kind of a rundown report of the vehicle, step by step, which is really, really good. So things like your motor-driven power steering system and airbag control system, your tire pressure monitoring system, integrated braking and body control system, engine management system, a transmission control system, as well as your driver assistance system. So basically, what I like about this vehicle diagnostics is that it's down to a T when it comes on to maintenance and, making sure the safety systems are working and all that stuff, which I wish there was that in more cars. I think that's really, really cool to see. And I'm glad Hyundai has this in their Santa Fe product here. As you can see here, maintenance, of course, you have BlueLink requirement for that. HD radio data, as you can see, traffic, Doppler radar, fuel prices. You're going to have a subscription for that as well. Notifications, you're going to need a service subscription required for BlueLink, as well as the online owner's manual, which is pretty cool. You just have to scan the QR code, and of course, you'll be able to view your vehicle's owner's manual from inside the vehicle, or in this case, on your phone, which is pretty nice. And that's pretty much it. Coming down here, we have some more of that faux wood material, but it does feel nice on the hands. You do have air vents here, which look really cool. And I do like the pattern of it. Not really a pattern, but I just like how it's laid out. It looks really, really good. You're going to have all your haptic buttons here. When I say haptic buttons, sometimes they will work, sometimes it'll take a second for the action to be recognized, but you do have your dual zone climate control. You do have your cooled seats here, ventilated seats there. Those are 3 zones for the front and front passenger. You're going to have a heated steering wheel. You have AC controls, recycling. You're going to have your airflow and all that stuff. Airflow going in, airflow going out. Front and rear defrost, fan speed. And that's pretty much it there. And then, of course, on top of that, you're going to have a volume knob and a tuning knob. And then you're going to have different buttons here, physical buttons, which look pretty cool, such as home, map, search, media, your hazards button right there, seek track, favorites, and setup. Coming down here, as you can see, you do have an indicator for your wireless charging on both sides, which is pretty cool. You also have a little area where you can plug in your device to charge. And this right here is what's really cool. This is referred to as a UVC. So basically what that is if you open up this top portion here, you put your phone in, and it will basically clean your phone for you, in the sense that it will make sure any germs, any bacteria is wiped off from it, which I love that. I think that's a great idea. I wish more auto manufacturers came out with this with this feature. So basically, it's going to disinfect your phone for you as you're driving the vehicle, which to me, that's a really cool thing to see, especially, you know, with what was going on for the last couple of years. You know, it's just important to make sure that your phone is clean just as much as your hands are. So with that said, the UVC feature, I think that's a really cool thing to have, and I wish more vehicles come with it. With that said, you do have your 2 wireless chargers here. You do have 2 cup holders right here as well, which look pretty nice, and I have to say, it does do a pretty good job of making sure you can fit deeper cups in there. Then we come to your glove compartment. You have a modest amount of space in here, as well as a little cubby hole. So you take this cubby hole out, and then you have a deeper amount of storage space in here, which looks really, really good, as well as an LED light right there to the right. Pretty nice to see. And coming up here, you are going to have your standard mirror, but also doubles as a camera, as you can see. You also have your 3 garage home link system right there, which is cool, as well as some other things to the right, which as you can see. You do have controls for your lights. You do have controls for the front and rear sunroof, as well as your passenger airbag light and all that stuff. Coming over here, you do have a visor, which is pretty cool. And overall, I have to say the new Santa Fe Calligraphy looks really cool, and I have to give a lot of props to Hyundai for making such a really striking vehicle. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's check out the rest of the vehicle. Upon that, of course, you do have some extra buttons, such as a electronic parking brake, as well as a couple of extras, as well as a safety feature here. Traction control off, as well as the push and hold to open up your cargo area. And then down here, down there is going to be for your hood. So let's check out the rest of the vehicle. Checking out the second row of the Santa Fe Calligraphy, as you can see, materials do carry throughout. The Nappa leather interior is quite nice, and I also do like the seat pockets as well. You get deep seat pockets on both sides. One thing I did not mention is that you can open up the glove compartment in 2 ways. So you can open up, like I showed you in the front, or you can open it up here in the back as well, which is pretty nice. You have little hooks where you can put your groceries, as well as USB ports here, and on this side here to charge your devices. And of course, you do have captain chairs, which makes it easier to get into the third row. This right here is basically a handle that you can actually grab, which I don't think I'm doing it right, but as you can see, if you grab onto this here and put your foot on the wheel, you will be able to go up to the top portion here of the vehicle, which is pretty nice to see, especially if you're one of those people who like to go on adventures, on trips, you know, and you like to sleep up on top of the vehicle. You can simply do that with a tent setup, which is no problem. Coming here, as you can see, you have your fuel tank right there. The Santa Fe does have LED taillights, and of course, your Hyundai logo and Santa Fe badge in the back is all big and brawny. As you can see, cargo room isn't too bad, but of course you can increase it if you can increase it. With the amount of room that's currently up, you have around 14.2 cubic feet of space. You use these straps right here to actually fold the seats down. Folds down pretty flat, and you're looking at around 40.5 cubic feet of space. And all you have to do is to fold down the second row here. You can do it simultaneously, you can do it one at a time. Now, if these went completely flat, you would have right around 80 cubic feet of space, around 79.8 cubic feet in total, which is pretty good when it comes down to the competition. Now, the third row, if you had anyone sitting in the third row, you would have a 150 watt power outlet, a USB port on both sides. You have rear air vents on both sides. You have controls for the rear AC back here, which is pretty interesting. You do have cup holders on this side as well as on that side. And when we lift this little portion up here, you do have a little space on the left with a vehicle lock kit and a fix-a-flat kit for this particular vehicle. And when you're done, tap this button here to close the cargo area, and then tap this button here to close the cargo area and to lock the vehicle. You do have body colored mirrors with LED turn signals on them. You also have LED daytime running lights with LED projectors, which look pretty cool. Under the hood of this vehicle, we're taking a look at a 2.5 liter Smart Stream turbocharged 4-cylinder. It produces 277 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. Overall, not too bad, and it's running smoothly. And of course, this vehicle is going to be in either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Alright guys, so here is a look at the window sticker for this particular one. This is a 2025, I said 24, but this is a 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy 2.5T front-wheel drive. As you can see, this vehicle is finished off in Serenity White with the Beige Nappa Leather interior. As you can see, the sticker might be a little bit wonky because it has been kind of torn off a little bit, but as you can tell, this is what comes with the vehicle as standard. And then coming down here, some added features include the paint color, which is for $470, roadside assistance kit for $70, the first aid kit for $30, all-season floor liners for $245, the severe weather kit for $75, and the wheel locks for $70. With that being said, that comes with a inland freight and handling price of $1,415, and the total MSRP for this one comes out to $49,125. As you can see, this vehicle does get great fuel economy, coming in at 20 city, 29 highway, and 24 combined. One thing I'll go ahead and say about the new Santa Fe is that it is absolutely incredible to see that they actually pulled this off. Like, I remember when the last generation came out and how that one looked. It actually looked pretty normal. But this, when I first saw it, I was shocked because I thought this was a Land Rover Defender, to be completely honest. But after getting a chance to look at it and see what it is, and now getting a chance to review one, I can certainly tell you that the new Santa Fe is really, really incredible. And just the way that the design has come through, and as you can see, even with this Morse code thing right here, which, by the way, this actually, if you put this together in Morse code, this represents an H for Hyundai. Just cool things like that. Cool things like the UVC feature, like we just talked about. the double 12.3-inch displays. With that said, everyone, that's going to do it here for the walk around and tour of the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.